Hi, everyone. It's your host, Dr. Angel White, the host of Black Excellence in Healthcare White Coats and Real Talk podcast. And on tonight's episode, I have such an amazing guest. It's a little twist with this episode because usually I have healthcare professionals on the podcast, but however, I have someone that is a financial advisor who helps healthcare professionals. So I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Aleaxander Jefferson. I'm from Mississippi. I love working with the healthcare professionals. I love working with the hardworking, highly educated people in the healthcare field, the people who love helping people. And my people, so I love working with them.
That's awesome. Well, welcome, Dr. Jefferson. I'm glad that you came on the show.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
yes. So can you just share your academic background, credentials, and professional experience that led you into your field? Tell us a
Oh,
little bit about your
absolutely.
background.
Okay, absolutely. A little bit from my background. It started at I'm from Mississippi, so it starts there. I'm a third generation graduate of the Jackson State University. All right, then we go to Mississippi State, then we go to University of Alabama, Roll Tide, and then we go to the University of Memphis. All of my degrees are in math. I got 5 of them. All of them are in math. You know, ideally, you want to have 3. I have 5. That's my ups and downs. That's my progress. Of not giving up, of persevering, and so on that way, I would say like there was no missteps. There was no everywhere that I went. I got to great to. I got to meet new people, people that are dear friends at everywhere that I went. I got to learn things about myself, the entire discovery process of, grad school. I learned a lot about myself, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I wanted to do with my life. All in all, I got deep into the probability of things. And, that's my doctorate and dissertation is on. But all in all, in deciding to where I wanted to go and how I wanted to practice my mathematics, I wanted to sit down with families, look them in the eyes, and kind of shepherd them through where they might have the most anxieties, where they might have, well, I could do the most impact. And ultimately, that's, today shaking people's by the shoulders and say, hey, look, let's get things in order. Let's start with the basics and let's get more complex over time. And, you're not going to, I'm not making anybody an expert. It's talking 50 minutes at a time, but, I absolutely love it. And so
That's
that's what led me to where I am today.
That's good, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. So, where are you today in your journey?
Today I'm over in Elgin. Today I'm over in Elgin. I'm a financial advisor. The firm I associate with is Northwestern Mutual. We can't say enough good things about. It's like from the organization as a whole to my district office to my agency and everybody. Really opening, welcoming, and that the educational piece is just it's you're never going to run out of things to learn from. So that's why I am, and like that's who I run with.
That's good. That's good. Have you experienced like any challenges or have you faced any challenges throughout your journey, especially as a black man?
Well, yeah, it's like okay. The challenge is yes, it's a few. I mean, it's a challenging thing. Like being a black man, my natural market, who I mostly work with, is other black people,
Okay.
and just in this, what I was going to say, like one of my new favorite euphemisms is say like the administration. And they say, hey, look, the administration, we all know what that means. So under the current administration and everything in the current economic environment, when the US catches a cold, black people catch pneumonia. And so, like in my market, the families that I help and the people that I work with, it's a really challenging time for a lot of people. I mean, it's not a blanket statement, it's not everyone. But it's a really challenging time for a lot of people. It's no judgment on anybody. But there's that aspect of it. And with my people, like you have to get in with people that you know. Like you have to make sure that whoever you're talking to, you're coming from a commonality and a common point. Whether it's a warm introduction, whether we have something in common, went to the same school, we went to school together, some kind of thing like that. But reaching out to people, which I do a lot. That's how I meet a lot of good people and a lot of my clients. But reaching out to people without that commonality and cold, it's more difficult. And so it's really finding that piece of commonality, which, it's know a lot of good people. So like it's how to phrase this. It's my biggest challenge, but my biggest strength.
Okay.
So, so leaning into that, it's really helpful.
Okay. So I'm asking you a question that I usually ask all my podcast guests.
Okay, let's
What
hear.
does Black excellence mean to you? But I want you to tell the audience, what does Black excellence mean to you in the context of like finances, since that's
Okay.
your expertise?
Okay. Yeah, Black excellence means to me, Black excellence. Like excellence generally, when you say excellence in finance is saving, it's like whether you put it in, like generally, it's like what percentage of your income do you save? And then it's like, it's like, $300. It's like, okay, but how much, what percentage is that to you? Okay, but you say, hey, excellence. Okay, so now you put that on top of it. I'll say generally it's caring. So how much do you value stability, in your plan? Do you want to just put it all on a parlay, so to speak? Do you just want to be risky, like just go all out, like whatever? But how much do you really value your family? How much do you really like, I don't know, love your family? I think about Black excellence. How much do you value like just over the generations, from one generation to the next, making
Mhm.
sure the next generation, whether it be the educational fund, when people are talking they're giving their goals, you can really tell the love when they're giving their goals. Just that, and you can really feel that. So for me, I'd say it's that Black excellence, love in general. I'll say savings, like dollar for dollar, whatever you put it, strategies really easy to walk people through where to put it one place or another. But yeah, I'd say love for Black excellence.
Okay, love. Okay, I like that. I like that, Dr. Jefferson. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So why do you think it's important for healthcare professionals, because I know you deal with a lot of healthcare professionals, to have advisors who understand both the culture and the career?
Well, it's just like I know there's a study that says, hey, Black people have better outcomes when they see Black people. And it's because it come from their commonality. There's a similar study. It's like people who see advisors do better, and people who see active advisors do even better. So it's that same kind of commonality, and you're busy. Like at the end of the day, whether it's nurses, physicians, whoever, you're working these 12-hour shifts and everything. You, you probably don't want to look at shifts in the market and getting just deep off into the weeds about this product, this tax code, and all of those kind of things. People working by themselves generally prioritize debt elimination, which is it's great, it's stable and everything, but you limit your upside in that. If you in that situation, if you focus all your money on just wiping out all debt as soon as possible, it's the concept of opportunity cost. And if we look at something like, let's say a student loan debt where you have, I don't know, $300,000, you want to make sure, yes, there is a plan. A plan is important.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be saving, whether it's going to the $300,000 or whether it's going to this place or that place. A plan is important. But if that $300,000 is at 6% or 5% or 3%, these all have different strategies. And I know I'm throwing out numbers and everything, and it make me very comfortable and like whatever. So without getting off too deep off into the weeds, it's having that strategy portion of it to where, okay, you can increase your portfolio, you can increase your legacy, you can increase your lifestyle, and ultimately not have to think about it, not have to worry about it. Just working with a professional, it just kind of makes sense.
It just makes sense, huh?
It just makes sense. Right.
and, and look, they need to do what makes sense, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think, having a financial advisor is very important too, because a lot of the times, a lot of people think, oh, because you're healthcare professionals and you're making all this good money, a lot of people don't know where to put that money. And a lot of people don't know how to manage that money. And so having an expert in that field to, kind of show them and guide them is a good tool to have, especially, if you're just working. Sometimes people just work and spend,
Yes.
And don't save for emergency funds, don't invest. Some don't even have insurance, like life insurance. So having someone, to help you on that financial path, to, give you good guidance about, how your money should be, put into certain things that will help you build a legacy, will help build that generational wealth, will, help you in emergencies is very, very important, because I see that myself, that a lot of people lack that. So I mean, having a financial advisor is good to have, especially for us healthcare professionals, because we make good money, but we be spending it. we be we
Yeah,
be we be spending it.
be spending it and like it's gonna come back in, and so it's
Right,
like
like,
yeah,
oh, we get
exactly.
that back in one shift, or that's how we be thinking. Like, and
Yeah.
I be around a lot of healthcare professionals that think like that. Oh, I just get that back next year. Well, I just pick up another day, or So having somebody to kind of keep them on track, like, okay, we looking at the future too as well, and not just the now. So
Right.
that's important.
Absolutely. Two types of healthcare professionals that work into old age.
Mhm.
Generally, there's two types. The kind that do so because they want to, and the kind that do so because they have to.
Right. Hmm.
So, hey, if you want to reduce your hours and like whatever, having that nest egg, building that up over time, and you're doing that because you want to, it's a completely different situation.
You're absolutely right. And I want to do it because I want to, not because I have to. Because I don't want to be
Absolutely.
old and be just working and stressed. I want to enjoy those years, for real.
Exactly.
So, how does mindset around money differ in the Black community? And how can we shift that to build generational wealth?
Okay, mindset and money differ in the Black community. Well, for me, it's just for me, I'm thinking about myself and like I'll say like 90% of my market is Black, so I'm just juxtaposing us to the other 10%. Well, I'll say for us, I would say yes. It's as you just alluded to. I'll say that's the main thing. So it's thinking about now, and it's thinking about later. And my entire job is thinking about you later. I'm saying, okay, so you 10 years from now and you 20 years from now, it's my job to advocate to the 10-year and 20-year more senior version of yourself. And I'm like, there's a chance in this that, your mother, grandmother referred me to you in this situation for whatever reason. But that's my job, and I say us in the Black community. Yeah, it's thinking about the now is without getting too what I don't know the proper word for it, but it's can be kind of a problem thinking about the now rather than the later. You can get into showing the illustrations. Okay, boom, you put this money away, 7%. 20 years later, it's like, all right, okay, cool, big number on the screen. How does that make you feel? 20 years from now, you can be a millionaire, and then they go scratching their heads. Oh, 20 years from now, it's like, well, yes, that's how compounding interest works. 20 years from now, this is not, like that's how this is, and you put away this amount of money, with this returns, no guarantees, obviously, all that, like whatever you say, all the disclosures, that's what it looks like. In my humble experience, like that's been my biggest, like, if we can get a wrangle on this one thing, valuing the now, valuing the later over the now, it's huge. Like you get that will get us over a lot of humps. That just that one piece right there.
I think so too. I feel like I know, like with my culture, I feel like with a lot of Black culture, we was kind of conditioned that way. Like it was always the now, like what we have to do now, what we have to get now. And I think that just had a lot to do with a lack of education and the knowledge being poured into us to understand about the future. You know, we didn't really have no one really discussing the future and where you're going to be in the future and how you're going to be financially stable in the future. Like, what are your goals for the future? It was always kind of like now, what we're going to do now. And that's
Right.
another reason why I feel like people, not just healthcare professionals, should get financial advisors too as well, because it's a lot of unknown knowledge out there that a lot of people don't know when it comes to like finances and preparing for their future. Because a lot of people don't think about their future like that, and being in a position where you don't have to work till you die, you know. So I think that's just, you know, more education that needs to be put out there, especially in the Black community, about, making plans for the future, to be financially stable, to be in that position where you can retire when you want to retire, and
Like
still be okay and live a comfortable life.
right, right.
Yeah.
Is there anybody like like I say that like you say all these great things, and like you sit down with old people, established people. Oh my goodness, like like it's yeah. Excuse me. Like you sit down with more established people, later in life, and like boom, they say the right things and they know the right things. They know the right things from experience. You save and you plan. It gives you options. It gives you flexibility. You can do things if you want to. So a question I ask you, like anybody or any stories of people later in life, where hey, they have said something to that spoke to you directly, and somebody like later in life that's more established for you that's really spoke to something to you, because I have these conversations every day with people more established later in life, and a lot get to me.
Well, I be around a lot of patients and a lot of older patients too. I have a lot of older clients and a lot of older patients too. And that's one of the things that I hear a lot of them say, how they regret not planning sooner, not, saving and having a financial plan sooner. So I listen, I listen to the wise. I listen to the
Right.
wise. And I'm just educating myself. I made sure that I put myself in a position where, you know, I can work when I want to work and not have to work because I have to work,
Sure.
and just be blessed and be able to, say that, especially in the future, being established only because of the wise who poured their knowledge into me and the mistakes that they have made, right? And then also, me talking to financial advisors too, as well, because I have children, and I want to leave a legacy for my children. I don't want to leave them, with bills and, all that, all those type of things, I want to leave them with some wealth.
Right.
So they won't have to, struggle out here.
Start over from zero. It's like, nah,
Right,
you wanna.
exactly. They can just keep building on what I have already, set the foundation of, so that's important. How important is life insurance, trust, estate planning in our community? Like, I know it's important, but I know you deal with a lot of clients.
Yeah.
Is that something that they already come to you knowing what they want, or that's something that you have to recommend and educate them about
I,
to get?
I'll say in general,
Mhm.
it's something I'll pat us on the back. I'll say in general, it's something that we know it is very important. Like so life insurance, as trusts and estates, these are things. Knowledge is here or there. Some people know more, some people know less. It's not important. I mean, you don't need to be an expert. Ultimately you just need to know that it is important. You don't need to know
Mhm.
how the watch is made. You just need to know. Just go to the right place. Go to the people that you can trust, and get the things in place. So I'll say, in general, people know it's important. Price tags come out. It's like, okay, now go to Wills and Estate attorney and just have a conversation. Ooh, and then they start scratching the back of their neck, and you know how much that's gonna cost, and then it's like, here's the premiums on the life insurance. It's like, but that's just a part of it. But in general, we know that it's important. We know that it's in general something that we should be doing. It's just like doing it. And, the CFP board does an order of operations. You do this, then you do that, then you do that. I can't say too much without it turning into a seminar. Then I have to turn it to, I have to turn this into compliance. And I just wanted to keep this at a broad overview. So I had to kind of stop myself before, I hear my managing director yelling in my ears like, hey. So, yeah. So, I'll stop in there, but I'll say, hey, in general, it's something that we know that is important and it's stuff that we should be doing. Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
I
so
don't
now
know
I'm gonna do some rapid fire questions. You ready?
okay. All right, bring them at me.
Okay, so you got tell me which one you pick. You only can pick one, okay? You can't pick both. You got to pick which
Okay.
one you think is the best over the other, okay?
All right. Okay. This
You
or that. Let's
ready?
go. Okay. Let's
Okay.
go.
Investing or saving?
Oh man. Hey, look, look, it's an order of operations thing. So if I don't know you from a fiduciary standpoint, I'll have to say saving, but I'll say it depends. But this or that, I'll say saving.
So you would say savings. Okay.
I'll say saving because there's an order of operations thing. Like ultimately, you can invest. You shouldn't invest until you have at least 1 month, probably 3 months of monthly expenses.
Okay.
So or otherwise your investments are your emergency funds, and in the down market, like no.
Okay. Okay. So pay off debt first or invest first?
Oh, it, like it, again, it depends, but
Yeah.
probably it's pay down debt because what we're thinking about when we say that is credit card debt. What we're thinking about. So that right now it could be as high as 33%, probably 27%, maybe 22%. It's nothing you're gonna get in the market that's guaranteed that. So I'm paying that down, and it's compounding interest. It's not even amortized. It's amortized. amortized.
I was about to say, using all these words that we don't know. Now,
Oh, no, yeah. See, yes, get me off into the weeds. See, oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. Broad. Yeah. Pay down debt.
so pay
Paying
down
down
debt.
bad debt. Paying
Okay.
down bad debt first.
Okay.
Yes.
So next one, stocks or real estate?
Ooh. Okay. No, I'm fairly certain I know I can't answer that. So that one is purely like there's nothing I can say that's even broad compared to that one. That one depends on your current portfolio and your risk allocation. So that one I know I can't answer.
Why you can't answer that?
Suitability. Suitability. Okay, it's very easy to say, hey, look, just save your money and then see a professional when it's time. Okay, now about real estate and stocks, both of them could be suitable for one person or another. So for that one, is like my hands are just tied.
Okay, so it's okay. You neutral.
Yeah, yeah. No. I have a stance,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's a suitability thing. Like you work in finance and stuff. There are like 5 boards that are watching over you at all times, and a lot of stuff that you can't say without talking to a particular person. And in that one, you're talking about one asset class versus another one. So I would have to know who you are, your timeline horizon, a lot of
Okay.
finance stuff, about you in particular to say one thing over another.
Okay. So give me a rich mindset in one sentence.
Rich mindset. Later over now.
Okay. Okay. Later over now. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that,
Yeah.
Dr. Jefferson. I like that. Okay.
I
So
appreciate you, Dr. White.
what is the biggest money mistake to avoid?
Biggest money mistake to avoid. High monthly expenses. So if you I'll say if you're out there, you're watching this and you're 24, 25, still living at home with your parents, with a good job, a decent job and all that, don't feel bad at all. Because one thing about that, you're keeping your monthly expenses low. So, you're keeping that rent low. And with that, hey, boom, if you can make all of your other monthly expenses, you keep them low and you're saving at least 20% of your monthly income, you're going to do very well. So, hey, look, if you're moving out and you get a place all to yourself and everything, you want to keep your rent a certain percentage. 25% is very good for everybody would agree on. And say, hey, look, you spend 25% on housing expenses is good. 31% still not that bad. But in general, that's the biggest mistake I see people make. It's just by the time you pay rent, gas, food, all things you have to pay for. But by the time you pay for all the have tos, it's like saving or fun. And like it's really not room for anything else. It's like, okay, it's traveling or me 30 years from now. And then so it's really hard to prioritize saving in that mindset. So I would say it it was really back here on where we were talking about spending a lot of money on the have tos on the high monthly expenses. I'd say that one.
So basically, don't live above your means.
No, yeah, don't live above. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for making it simple. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so don't live above your means. So what is one financial move our listeners, the audience, can make this week to start building wealth? Like, what is one thing that they can do?
Mm-hmm. Okay, one thing that they can do is make a budget. And a budget, it's like budgets you can check in on every 3 months, every half of a year, but just look at all of your money, see what's coming in, see what's going out, and you just do a little audit on yourself. And without any kind of judgment, you just say, hey, look on an average week, how many times do I eat out? Okay, about what's the average? of each time I eat out. How much is that? And then say, okay, rinse this much, fill up the gas this many times a month, and it costs this much. And like just going through this exercise, making a budget, knows what's coming in, knows coming out. It's, seeing what kind of cash flow that you have and just looking at it without any kind of judgment. And what gets tracked gets changed. And so I'll say starting there.
What get tracked, get changed. I like that. Okay. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what's upcoming for you? Like, you have any upcoming projects, goals, or ventures you're excited about? And how can people connect with you? How can people get in touch with you, especially if they need some financial advising?
Hey, absolutely.
Okay.
Um, so you can connect with me largely through my LinkedIn, Dr. Alexander Jefferson. Also, drop me an ad on Facebook or on Instagram Alexander.phd. Oh, wish you would have. Wish we could have talked last week. I just got through an event with the alphas and the AKAs. I was a moderator for the
Okay.
yeah, absolutely, man. Oh, it was wonderful. It was just so many beautiful black people down there on the south side at the Gary Coleman Youth Center. And
Okay.
oh yeah, it was wonderful. Oh, have you been?
No, I haven't been, but I heard about
Oh,
it.
oh yeah, it's wonderful. It's beautiful in there.
That's
And
good.
so ultimately there, but just find me on my LinkedIn or my work number 630-716-3575. That's 630-716-3575. Just drop me a text, say I'm ready. Say I'm ready and drop your name, and I'll give you a call when it's good.
Okay, okay. So I want to thank you, for coming on to White Coats and Real Talk podcast, sharing your background and some information for the audience. And my audience, everyone that's listening or needs to be listening. Make sure that if you don't have a financial advisor, make sure that you tap into one or at least connect with one and get some type of consult or some information. You might learn some things that you may not have known. And especially if you're just unsure of where you're putting your finances too as well. You're gonna need some guidance and support. So yes, tap into a financial advisor. Very, very important, especially for our Black healthcare professionals.
Absolutely,
So we can, have for the later and not just the now. Ain't that right, Dr.
exactly.
Jefferson?
That's absolutely right. Hey, thank you for having me on and everything. It's a beautiful, so beautiful setup that you have. And hey, just make contact. Hey, it might not be the right time. We might not be able to work together. It'd be beautiful, but just reach out and just make contact and let's get to know one another.
All
And
right. So
thank you, Dr. Hanks.
you can find him on LinkedIn, Facebook, social media. He gave you out his phone number. You could call him and set up an appointment, get that consult in. So I hope tonight's episode you found it very knowledgeable, and that you gained some things from it too as well. Make sure that you catch this episode on the Alive Podcast Network. Also catch this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are on all streaming platforms. You can check us out on whatever your favorite podcast platform is. You name it, we are on there. So until then, be great, be safe. Tune in, like, share, subscribe, share. Okay, don't be stingy, share. Okay.
Right.
So
That's
good
right.
night.